doctors or something else instead of keeping up with the family tradition. Um, I just think it, something that's got to be done to help these younger generations out to, to make it worth their while, to be part of
The
it.
grin, but what are we going to do about it going forward? What can we do about it? That's what we've got to address.
Well, the small farmers got to unite, and just help one another, through all the politics and, you know, just whatever. Have children ready, just hoping they would take over the farms. No, it's going to be so hard for them to make it, so they send them off to college to become doctors or something else instead of keeping up with the family tradition. Um, takes, to keep these small farms going. It's, it's a way of life that shouldn't die.
What do we say to these people that say, well, we need the big farmers because they can make the volume, they can get the food out there at a cost that is less expensive for people to buy? What do we say?
You just tell them that the small farm's a way of life, and it's the way it's been. It needs to stay that way. Uh, I can't see where the big corporations is helping anybody. They're just got to farm so many acres, to make a profit. And a small farmer could farm little acreage and make just the same profit they do. With the least investment. The line of credit the small farmer has isn't nothing like a corporation. I mean, they put everything on the line, to try to make it work. And it just, it's got to just change. I think there's got to be other ways, to help these small farmers and families out. The government should step in, give support for the small farmers, and make it a way of life like it used to be. And not just big corporations running everything, controlling everything.
It's the bottom line. It seems what something is going to make, the milk the profits, and that seems to be the real problem right now, that nobody cares.
Yeah.
Maybe because they don't understand the background and the history, but it's the bottom line, that the almighty buck.
And taking over, and they're waiting for these homesteaders just to die off so they can just suck up all the land they can.
Think about it, where would we be without the farmers? It's the backbone of our country. The food, making the food for the people to live on, and they don't get a lot of respect. A lot of city people, they don't even know where the food comes. They don't know where the meat comes from. They just think it comes out of the supermarket.
Yes. You ask children nowadays, where's hamburger come from? They would say something like McDonald's or Burger King, and they have no idea, what it took to build, these farms, and make them productive, so they could feed the world. And
I think what tears on my heart is imagining my father being in that bed, because he's totally incontinent right now, and just the thoughts going through his mind about the farm and all the work that he puts on it, and wondering what's happening to it, afraid that it's going to be taken away. That really is.
I started working for your dad a long time ago. When I was 12 years old, he'd come and help and ask my mother if I'd come and help. We got to be good buddies and real close. I enjoyed getting away from my father's farm to help him on his, and he needed extra help. It's just changed my life.
So you were working with him from 12 on through high school?
From junior high through high school, 35 years of my life I spent there. It's been a wonderful thing. Like I say, it's changed my life. I learned a lot from him.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna lose the farm, Brad. All the work Daddy's put in that. It's 102 years old.
I know his wishes more than anybody, that I've been around him long enough, and he just wants to keep that farm family. It's been around so long, and I'm just proud to be part of it. All this time, I just hope we can do anything it takes to save it. Production on these farms nowadays is just so far out of line that these chemicals are so high, and the chemicals ain't the best way to go. We need to get back to more organic ways of raising, these crops, and make it healthier for the people. And the pesticides, to keep the weeds under control, and the insects. There's other alternatives, than these high-priced chemicals which a lot of the chemicals stay within the foods that we eat. And it's not good, there's cancers, and all kinds of illness. Some people are afraid to eat them because of the chemicals that are, used to produce the crops that we eat.
And not only that, Brad, the chemicals and additives, but what about the generic engineering? That is very troublesome too.
Yes, it's actually scary because, it's a new technology and we don't know much about it and what it's going to do to our health. By eating these foods that's been genetically altered. It's just, it's just outrageous to me that we can't just raise natural crops like we have in the last 100 years or 200 years, throughout the world.
Documentary to bring awareness to this situation. Politicians.
It's important to wake up America and what's happened to these small farms and the way of life of the small farmers, and the families. These people would just work so hard to develop these farms, and just through medical expenses and long-term cares from these old people that opened this ground up and started these small farms and made them productive.
And then it's gone. And like ours is 102 years. In 1904, they pioneered there, homesteaded from nothing, sagebrush and sand, and little cardboard houses that they insulated with paper.
Yep. I've seen some of these farms go under, you know, big corporations taking them over, just over little things, you know, like most of it medical, people getting old, going nursing homes. It just, it's kind of a sad deal to see all these little farms dissolve. I just hope we can do something to save these farms, and it's not just our farm, it's other farms in Idaho.
And it's not only Idaho, but around the country. In fact, I think if we can put something together, perhaps we could contact Willie Nelson, because I know he's helping a lot of farmers.
Yes, I'm sure there's a lot of help out there. You know, hopefully somebody can give us a hand.
You know, Brad, if we had a better healthcare system in this country, my father, Art Smith, wouldn't be lying in a bed right now and wondering what's going to happen to everything, this farm that he's put every bit of his energy in for all his life. And you too, since you were 12 years old. That's what eats at my heart. And it's not only Daddy, but all these people that are affected in the farms and being eaten up and putting into shopping centers and housing tracts.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it's just being eaten up by urban sprawl that, you know, the cities are getting bigger and the farms are getting smaller. There's something we've got to do about this. And I just hope that there's some kind of help there for the small family farmers. It's just sad to see them go, and I've seen it happen time and time again that, you know, they're dissolving. Big corporations buying them up, you know, and it's cutting out all the family deals. You know, it's gotta just change.
You know, it seems to me that our whole American culture has been based on the family and the importance of the family. In the farm, the farmer and the family has symbolized that. And it seems like with the big farmers, that's all lost. Everything is corporation, this and that. How are we going to get that small family thing that symbolizes America back?
We just gotta get the word out there, you know, and let it be known that this is how it all started, the small farmers. When they started, it was, you know, 5-10 acres was a big farm when they plowed with the horse. You know, and as it progressed, they got bigger, and now it's so big you can't even get the equipment down the road safely. It's been such a hazard, you know, for all traffic. You know, now just how many acres can you cover in a day instead of, you know, I've got part of my farm done today.
You know, that's...
They all want to get it done in a day's time, you know, which...
And when you look back to when Daddy started farming way back, he farmed with horses and then coming into the tractor. And gee, the change in just, 70 years probably. Maybe we can get some degree of consciousness back through this documentary. It's how important it is to get back to that family thing, the appreciating these people who started it from nothing, instead of concentrating on the big farmer who has the whole machinery that takes over the whole road. It's kind of symbolic of how this country is being swallowed up. Mom and pop, the things that made this culture, and they're not around anymore, like the Walmart stores coming in, wiping out the mom and pop stores. And to me, that's how I see the little farmers being wiped out, the very thing that made our country. That's what we've got to change, and hopefully we can do it through this documentary.
Yeah. And to the people out there that think this is just the way life is changing, it doesn't have to change, be that big, so all this money goes to the big corporations, and you know, and it cuts out the little guy that, you know, that just sweated and, you know, opening this ground up from sagebrush, and, you know, it's just, you know, just heartbreaking to see them disappear. In my lifetime, I've seen so many disappear, and the children going on, moving to the big city.
And not even coming back to pay homage to, like, oh, this was where
Yeah.
mom and dad or grandpa started. They don't care.